I will say YouTube demonetized his channel now. Like,
So like,
I don't know what this
grift?
Sneako does. I feel like Sneako's just a liar.
Privately, like, bruh, this is absolute cuck bullshit. No, this is a lie.
Winston Churchill High School in Montgomery County is dealing with a racist incident. Students were caught handing out passes that were printed out. They look like this, supposedly giving them permission to use the N-word. Kevin Lewis from our sister station, W.
Okay, let's say theoretically, okay, it was only black students that could hand these out, and theoretically they cost like, you know, $20 a pop. Is this the worst thing in the world? Are these not the reparations that everybody wanted, and white people getting to say the N-word with impunity? Isn't this like an everybody wins situation? Everybody gets what they want?
JLA spoke with one of the teens involved with this and the mothers of two involved students. They say they believe the school is overreacting to what they claim.
What?
Yo, what's up, buddy? How's it going?
What's going? What's up?
Let me look it up. Russell Brand's channel demonetized.
Also, give me like 2 minutes. I want to watch this school N-word pass video. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Was supposed to be a joke.
It's a joke that went maybe a tiny bit too far at the most, but the school blew it out of proportion.
Gavin Norman is a sophomore at Winston Churchill High School in Potomac. On Friday, two of his close friends printed around 15 copies of this meme from the internet and handed them out to students during lunch. The meme, modeled after a Willy Wonka golden ticket, says,
Well, are his friends white or black? That's important, okay?
N-word pass. The idea being pass holders could use the racist term without repercussions.
It should have been like maybe 1 day suspension at the most, just like protocol for schools, but it ended up being a lot more than that.
Administrators have disciplined at least 3 students. In an email to parents, Churchill's principal said she was, quote, deeply disappointed and appalled by what she called a racist, hateful act.
Your principal called this racist conduct. Do you agree with that classification?
I do not agree.
Why is that?
No one was trying to offend anyone. No one was saying the actual word.
It's childish.
Sophomore Philip Chillicom gave the incident a 7.5 on the offensive scale.
You know, it's something that I've been thinking about lately, and it's just been stuck in my mind. It's kind of like, you know, it's disappointing.
Did they just find one random black kid to comment on it? I'm sorry.
Actual word.
It's childish.
So they're like, that one over there with the glasses.
Sophomore Philip Chillicom gave the incident a 7.5 on the offensive scale.
You know, it's something that I've been thinking about lately, and it's just been stuck in my mind. It's kind of like, you know, it's disappointing.
That was Kevin Lewis reporting. The high school has a PTSA meeting on the 19th of February, planning now to focus solely on training about race and...
I want to know if the kids' friends that printed the N-word passes were white or black. I think that's a really important part of the story. I want to know who was suspended. Did they show it and I just wasn't watching because I was looking at chat? Okay, Turkey.
I will say YouTube demonetized his channel now, like right away. Is that not a little worrying?
Listen, this is my issue, okay? I think if you do something bad in one area, I think that you should be punished in that area. I don't think anything should carry over to anything at all. And I don't know why we would ever let like social media platforms enforce like allegations, or it's just such a horrible precedent. It's so bad. Like, let's say Russell Brand gets demonetized because of this, right? Let's say like 5 people come out and accuse, you know, like me of rape or something. And let's say YouTube doesn't demonetize me. Does that mean that I'm innocent and Russell Brand is guilty because YouTube said so?
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, why should they have any say in these allegations? Why should they even act? Like, as of now, in a court of law, they are allegations. I feel like for the most part, the only reason that YouTube should act should be if there's like a legal judgment against someone, like a conviction.
Yeah, well, and even at that, I don't think so. Unless they put in their TOS, we don't want like convicted felons or whatever on our platform. In which case, fine. But like,
well, if it's let's say someone that I mean, if it's someone who's smuggling drugs, I don't know. Maybe that's a different thing. But let's say it's someone who, like Russell Brand. I mean, let's say he was meeting fans or something and doing stuff to them, right? Like maybe that was their concern as far as like liability or something. Like maybe he has a YouTube show. He meets people through YouTube, and then he RAPEs them. Let's say is what they think, and then maybe that turns into like a bigger thing later on. Just like, well, YouTube allowed him even after the allegations came out. Maybe that's
even
why.
At that, like if he's doing it through like YouTube DMs, which I don't even know if that phrase
Which don't exist. Doesn't exist.
Then it's like fuck
that's
it.
The thing.
Yeah, this has always been like my stance too. When like people will try to say like, hey, I want to report this guy for harassment, and it's like, okay, well, what did he say? And it's like, well, in this other Discord server, and it's like, listen, bro. I'm not going to be the arbiter of what goes on outside of my particular platforms unless there's like an exceptionally crazy circumstance. Like people can do other things on other platforms and go get banned there, but I'm not going to be because now I've become like a police investigative body where I'm trying to ascertain the validity of allegations made in areas that I don't even have direct knowledge of. Like why the fuck would I want to assume that role? It's so much responsibility. And then if I get something right or wrong, it's like fuck it, dude. That's just a nightmare. Yeah.
I think it opens them up to more liability the further that they go with this as well, because like people are always going to be able to call out inconsistencies.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lawsuit that was filed not that long ago against this YouTuber named Onision, and the claim is that it was a lawsuit against Onision and YouTube at the same time, and Google actually, because Google's a parent company. And the allegation is that YouTube allowed and was complicit in Onision grooming children over the internet. And the reasoning why is that they just didn't delete his channel, right? Keep in mind, there's never been any criminal charges against Onision. He's never been to court for this. He went to civil court once over something else. Like, so this has never fucking happened. And like, I feel bad for these girls if they're telling the truth, like obviously, but at the same time, to hold YouTube liable, and I don't think that lawsuit's going anywhere as a result, because I think under Section 230 it would be completely ridiculous. But realistically, I think if YouTube decides to enforce this rule, then like with certain people, then they open themselves up to a lawsuit in other regards, right? And they're not going to make a statement, I would guess, about why they deleted him. And that's the reason they don't make the statement is because then they have to show their hand, explain themselves, reveal intention, and then people can really get them down on like inconsistency here, inconsistency there.
Yeah, a lot of people, or a few people in my kick chat are saying that Russell Brand's YouTube channel was demonetized weeks or months ago, and it doesn't have anything to do with this. I don't know if that's true or not. But
is that real? Everyone's talking about how it just happened. Is that real?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So I don't know. This guy in my kick chat keeps saying, I think there were two people saying but I haven't heard that anywhere else. I thought it was in relationship to this. So
let me look it up. Russell Brand's channel demonetized.
Also, give me like 2 minutes. I want to watch this school N-word pass video. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Was supposed to be a joke.
It's a joke that went maybe a tiny bit too far at the most, but the school blew it out of proportion.
Gavin Norman is a sophomore at Winston Churchill High School in Potomac. On Friday, two of his close friends printed around 15 copies of this meme from the internet and handed them out to students during lunch. The meme, modeled after a Willy Wonka golden ticket, said,
well, are his friends white or black? That's important, okay?
As N-word pass. The idea being pass holders could use the racist term without repercussions.
It should have been like maybe 1 day suspension at the most, just like protocol for schools, but it ended up being a lot more than that.
Administrators have disciplined at least 3 students. In an email to parents, Churchill's principal said she was, quote, deeply disappointed and appalled by what she called a racist, hateful act.
Your principal called this racist conduct. Do you agree with that classification?
I do not agree.
Why is that?
No one was trying to offend anyone. No one was saying the actual word.
It's childish.
Sophomore Philip Chilicom gave the incident a 7.5 on the offensive scale.
You know, it's something that I've been thinking about lately, and it's just been stuck in my mind. It's kind of like, you know, it's disappointing.
Did they just find one random black kid to comment on it? I'm sorry.
Actual word.
It's childish.
So
they're like, that one over there with the glasses.
Sophomore Philip Chilicom gave the incident a 7.5 on the offensive scale.
You know, it's something that I've been thinking about lately, and it's just been stuck in my mind. It's kind of like, you know, it's disappointing.
That was Kevin Lewis reporting. The high school has a PTSA meeting on the 19th of February, planning now to focus solely on training about race and...
I want to know if the kids' friends that printed the N-word passes were white or black. I think that's a really important part of the story. Okay, Turkey.
What's up? Yeah, so I don't know what that guy was talking about in chat. Maybe that is real, but every single article I found, which I mean, I'm not saying they're all necessarily telling the truth, but they're all saying that he was demonetized following the sexual assault allegations. So my guess would be it's because of that. This isn't the first time they've done stuff like this either. Like when EDP was caught in his sting years ago, they deleted his channel. No criminal conviction, but they just got rid of him. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like kind of a scary precedent. I really don't want YouTube to be involved, but it seems like they're cracking down on stuff even more now. I mean, Fresh and Fit is demonetized recently. Obviously, they were ramping things up, but they were allowed to exist on YouTube pretty much undeterred for, 3 years or something, making an ungodly amount of money. And now they're demonetized. So kind of a worrying, I don't know, time.
I got a lot of people on a lot of my chats saying that he got like demonetized for COVID misinformation stuff. Someone's saying he was demonetized for COVID shit, but it seems like he was reinstated. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I'm not
sure. So I do see an article from IMDb saying that he was a decent amount of time. Let me see, how long ago was this? Okay, this is in September of 2022. It looks like Russell Brand quits YouTube after video deleted for COVID misinfo. So it looks like that happened, and then maybe he got demonetized, and then he got back in the partner program.
Maybe, yeah. YouTube has apparently made a statement that it had suspended monetization of Brand's channel for violating its creator responsibility policy. If a creator's off-platform behavior harms other users, employees, or ecosystem, we take action to protect the community, the online platform said. So it seems like they did demonetize him in response to these allegations.
Interesting. I didn't even know he was on this whole like Alex Jones kind of arc.
Really?
Somebody informed me that his show, somebody described his show to me as InfoWars Light. I didn't realize is that what he does? What does he do?
No, I don't even know why I call it light. He's British. Yeah, he's been British Alex Jones for a couple years now at least. Yeah, he just does it's every single conspiracy that he believes in, all of them. Like if you were to start talking to him about like today the clouds were weird, he would say it's probably because we fake going to the moon landings, so that we can install COVID machines so that China can give us diseases, so that George Soros and the IMF can make us eat insects after the vaccines are forced down our throat from Bill Gates making money off of BlackRock. Like it's every single Brand believes in every single conspiracy theory, literally every single one.
But that's weird to me because he was literally at the top of like Hollywood a few years ago. I mean,
he was in
movies with Vince Vaughn.
But now he's
a part of the Matrix.
He was, but yeah, he's basically he's like, imagine having like HIV in your brain where you have no immune system and every single opportunistic infection takes over. That's literally Brand on conspiracy theories. It's every single one.
Do you think he believes in all of it?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, if he doesn't, he does a good job at convincing people he does. He's been on Joe Rogan and every other fucking program talking about him. So, yeah.
I always wonder with these people because when you have someone like, Russell Brand on YouTube saying this kind of stuff, or with Alex Jones, I wonder how much of it they genuinely believe. I mean, a decent example is someone like Sneako, who seems to have like done a total 180 on a lot of the stuff he was talking about. And now he's like surprised that his 12-year-old fans are like, women, which I mean, it's kind of a funny clip, but that's obviously the audience he was trying to cultivate, right? Trying to farm. And now he's like making fun of his former self all of a sudden. He's like, I'm not just gonna be like, wake up every day, wake up, the Matrix is coming, but that's like what he's been saying for like 2 years. Like obviously that's what his audience wants him to do. And if you go to his Rumble comment section, they're all like, you're a traitor.
Yeah, I don't know. The problem is the combination of Sneako changing his view a lot, but morally grandstanding every single step of the way. That's the issue. So he's literally building up the most judgmental fans ever, but then he keeps like doing 90-degree pivots on what he believes. So yeah, invariably he's going to pick up a bunch of fans that are being super judgmental on his current beliefs because that's the exact type of audience he's built.
And I feel like I don't know. You know him a little better than I do, so you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like his red pill thing was almost like a very cynical, calculated thing to like get to the top. I don't know how much he actually believed from back then.
I think he believed it. I think he's a young man. He's impressionable, and anytime he sees another guy he respects, he just copies other shit. So.
But I feel like before he was doing that stuff, like I feel like he'd already encountered those ideas and was like rejecting them. Like I feel like it wasn't like the first time.
Maybe there wasn't a guy that he got obsessed with that he could like imbue with all of his respect and then copy. Maybe I don't know.
Because I feel like he almost was like he wasn't pro cancel culture, but he liked to make fun of a little bit like the culture warrior types. I remember he did an interview with Shane Gillis where like he wasn't trying to push like for those who don't know in chat, Shane Gillis is a guy who went on SNL and then he got canned like a few days later for some old jokes regarding Asian people. Now he's like one of the more successful comedians in the stand-up scene. But I remember Sneako did an interview with him, and it wasn't like Sneako like had a more nuanced take on it. He wasn't trying to get answers out of him like Steven Crowder would, right? It wasn't that kind of level of stuff. But I remember there was this one particular point when Sneako made this video. I can't remember the name of it, but it was about like pickup artistry, and like he like hired like a pickup artist person, which is why it's so funny looking back, because he hired one and like clowned on him a little bit, and he was just like a total fraud. And then he was like filming women in public, and he was like, it wasn't like in a creepy way. He was just like filming random people on the street, and he was talking about like how people perceive the dating market and stuff like that. And Hassan made this reaction at the time, and it was like one of the most brain dead reactions I've ever seen, where he called Sneako like an incel. He's a fucking weird, creepy incel freak. And I feel like Sneako saw this, and I remember he made a response where he was like malding about the fact that Hassan can just like watch videos on his channel and just get like 100 times the money Sneako got, get like 100 times the views, 100 times the fan base. And then I remember like right after that, Sneako starts streaming on his second channel, and then he like discovers Andrew Tate, and like he's like learning his ideas, and at first he's like, oh this guy whack, and then he's like, oh this guy based, like he comes around to him. And I just feel like it almost felt very forced and like a cynical arc he was on. I feel like he opportunistically saw the red pill stuff blowing up and saw like a way that he could connect with the youth.
I mean, you can say that it's a grip, but you can also just say that like, why does that stuff blow up? It blows up because people see it and they believe it, right? So like,
I don't know if Sneako does. I feel like Sneako's just a liar.
Okay, maybe. I mean, if he does, he lives that lie in every single part of his life. He lives it in his relationships. He lives it in his private life. He lived it in his public life. He lived it in his connections. Like, if he grift, he's grifting so hard. He's like 700 IQ, grifting every single part of his life.
But I feel like he's not. Like, he's grifting publicly and then privately. I mean, I just saw DMs from, I think, his girlfriend or something about MDMA and getting drugs. He was like anti-drug or something not even that long ago.
Yeah, but hold on. Let's do this. Can you define a grift? What do you think is a grift? Because maybe, I feel this.
To me, a grifter is someone who, in public, will like say one thing about their beliefs for like financial or like opportunistic gain, and then like privately they won't live their ideals whatsoever. That's like a grifter to me.
Wait, say that one more time. Sorry.
Okay, someone who publicly will say one thing and like promote one idea opportunistically for money or clout or fame or whatever else, and then privately they don't live that lifestyle whatsoever, and they aren't really committed to those ideas.
Okay.
Is that not what a grifter is? I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, it's just someone who's like basically like, you know,
I guess
lying.
It could be. Here, this is kind of like how I draw the line, but it's like, obviously this is very fine. I guess you could call somebody a grifter. When I think of grifter, what you just described to me just kind of seems kind of like a weak hypocrite. But I feel like a grifter to me is somebody that is like very intentional. So when I think of grifter, like so like let's say Sneako was like, yeah, I talk about this Muslim shit, blah, 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 blah. And then in his private life, if you were to approach him and you'd be like, okay, talk to me about this Muslim shit. And he'd be like, bro, like, obviously I do this shit for money. Like, in the private, like, I party and I do all this shit. And, like, you know, yeah, obviously, like, this shit is fucking retarded. I feel like Sneako, the reason why he had the differences in his private and public life weren't because he was, like, a hardcore intentional grifter. It was just because he was kind of, like, spineless. Like, he would say these things, like, publicly, and he'd try to believe them. And then privately, he'd also try to believe them. But then if you confront him, be like, well, you know, I'm not perfect and I fuck up. But it's just because he needed the validation from girls. He liked doing drugs, whatever. So, I mean, like, I think you could still call it a grift. But it's not like a grift in the way that, like, an intentional, like, person would be like, yeah, I say this shit publicly as I get money. It's more like a grift just because he was too weak to live up to the ideals that he wanted to get credit for publicly supporting.
Well, in terms of the people who actually like say something publicly just to get money, and it's like 1,100% intentional, and then like as soon as the stream turns off,
why are you trying to fucking stalk girls in my kick chat, bro? Isn't fucking Xena there? Holy shit! Sorry, say that one more time.
I was just gonna say, how many examples of like a true grifter in your mind actually are there? Like,
well, like that's
not that many, probably.
It's in my mind personally. I feel like it's really, really hard for me to call like I feel like it's really, really hard for me to call people grifters when they're like 20 and 21. But I feel like
is that because people at that age rarely live their ideals? Is that it?
Yeah, and because they're so mind fucked and they change beliefs all the time, and like there's a whole bunch of like other shit going on or whatever. But like I feel like grifter was more applied like when people were talking about like people that work at like Fox News, for instance, right? That when people are when people are like, they're 45, they go on, they do the news, and then they go home and they're like, yeah, I'm just like reporting, I back the Republican Party publicly, but I know this shit is retarded, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so for instance, a real life grift. I don't know how politically active you are, but did you follow the Dominion lawsuits on Fox News at all?
That was over the voting machines.
Yeah, so that's an actual grift. Conservative pundits were going on TV and saying the election was stolen. We think that these machines might have been involved, and privately like, bruh, this is absolute cuck bullshit. We know this is a lie. That would be like an actual grift. Or the anchors on Fox talking about how horrible and evil the vaccines are and that they'll make you sick, but they're all vaccinated, right? Those things would be like, that's like a grift in my opinion. But I
guess I'm more loose with my definition.
Sure, yeah.
Fair
I
enough.
can see you saying like 20, 21, 22-year-olds are like grifting, but it's like, bro, when you're, and this sounds condescending, I'm sorry, because I realize you're like 21. But like, yeah, kids are always
just
like,
go ahead, be condescending.
yeah, you guys are like changing your mind like every year or 2 or 3 anyway. Like it happens, it's supposed to. So it's hard to like accuse me like, you're grifting. And it's like, no, I'm 22 now. I don't believe the same shit I believe when I was in high school, you know? Yeah.
Isn't Sneako like 25 or 26 though? He's not that young, is he?
I think he's 24, yeah.
Let me see, you're born. Oh, actually, he just had his birthday. Just had his 25th birthday, September. Damn. Happy birthday, Sneako.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I just the way he so quickly switched as soon as like I feel like Fusi coming on the scene was like an event horizon for a lot of those streamers where now people like Aiden Ross, instead of talking about Emily BLM or whatever, now they're gonna start doing IRL streaming. And they already have done it for a bit, but now they're kind of delving into like the Ice Poseidon realm, which will definitely be big for a bit, and it will definitely have like a big peak. But I mean, long term, I mean, we see what happened to Ice. I mean, he's not in like a horrible position, but those communities have huge peaks and huge valleys. And there's also a lot of like, you know, just opportunistic freaks trying to come on, constant swatting attempts, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now Zherka is like a part of that as well.
Did you catch that fight at all last night?
You mean him fighting? Is it Prime?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Zherka.
Jesus
I don't think they know how to box, but he's
Christ.
big. He looks scary. I wouldn't want to fight him. you
Yeah,
know?
but like, oh my god, for that to go like, that's like a 3-round split decision fight, and Zherka literally has like 100 pounds on that dude. Holy shit! I feel like that was just, I can't believe he showed up for that. That was insane.
Yeah. Well, when you're that big, and you're also, I mean, doesn't he do a lot of? He's probably hungover. Like his head probably hurts all day. But also when you're that big in general, I think your movement is just like kind of slow. And he's not like thin either. Like he's like,
I understand what you're saying, but
250?
I think there's a meme of like athletes of a certain size, like they don't have finesse and they move slow or whatever. I don't think that's true. I think when you look at like big, strong boxers that are, you know, like 220 plus, like these guys are fast. They're not just like these hunking, slow, throwing punches or whatever. Like these are trained, quick motherfuckers.
That's true, but those guys are trained.
Yeah, Zherka's slow because he's
trained in cocaine, right?
Yeah, and he's soft. Like I don't think Zherka's been in the gym. I don't think he's been training fighting for like years. He just does cocaine. Like that's it.
His whole thing was like early on he was like a bouncer, right? That was like the beginning of his lore.
Yeah, but again, like a bouncer's a guy that just tosses drunk dudes out of a club. Bouncers are not like trained f***ing assassins. Like people are.
I guess it just mean like he kind of had like a tough guy act, especially early on. He's like, you know, I beat the shit out of dudes every day, man. You know, that's like what my job was like for 5 years. Like that was kind of his thing. What do you think is his deal now with this whole? I know when I went on Kick or Keep, it was really funny to hear Xena. Are you like done talking to Xena on stream? What's the deal with Xena lately?
No, I mean if they want to hop on, they can. It's just kind of yeah.
Xena was trying to tell me that like Zherka like is a good guy and like he's anti prescription drugs or something behind the scenes. He's like a good, consistent guy who believes what he says. And, like she was like, I actually know him, and I remember just saying like, didn't this guy just say that he's like a pedophile on stream? Like didn't Zherka just say that? And I don't think he is one, but he's clearly just saying shit like that to get attention. He'll say anything. He'll make himself look as horrible as possible for attention. And that's been his entire arc like since the beginning. Like you can see the cycle. And now he's pivoting to this like IRL streaming thing because the entire point of IRL streaming is to be as degenerate as possible. That's always been the point. It's like, how do you up the ante with the next stream to get, you know, even fucking worse? And that's the market he's moving into now. And there's like this Neon guy. There's this Prime guy, I guess. I don't really know his deal. There's this like kid who owns a mansion and like Lamborghinis. I don't understand the kid who Fusi punched in the head or whatever. That was pretty funny, but I don't know what the fuck Fusi's up to now. I guess he's still in the mental hospital, but somehow someone, I guess maybe it could be a troll, but someone representing him is striking videos, taking him down,
Damn.
which is kind of weird. That's definitely not good. I don't know if you saw Baked Alaska went to Fusi's
I thought he went to
ward or
prison.
whatever. Well, he got out and he's been streaming, and he went to Fusi's psych ward to try and like get him out.
My appointment is telehealth, guys.
That's pretty fucking funny.
Damn.
Have you followed Bake stuff at all?
I was kind of on and off friendly-ish with him. Like, we were always almost going to do content, but then he was always like in the news for getting arrested and shit, so I didn't. So I'm not sure, but we used to run in the same circles maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. Back when I was
You're talking about during like IBS days?
Yes, yeah.
Irritable bowel days? Yeah, that's crazy.
Because he was friends kind of with like Tonka Saw and Andy Warski and all those guys, so.
Yeah. What do you think about Mr. Medicare? Have you ever seen his videos?
Yeah, he just seems like a guy that likes to shit stir, basically. Like a professional shit stir, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's like one of the big inspirations for a lot of commentary channels these days. A lot of even like left-wing dudes, like, you know, were watching him back in the day and found him very entertaining. I don't know if you know this, but he actually has cancer. Pretty sad.
No, I actually didn't know that. The largest factoid about his existence on the internet and all of his recent streams revolving around his like dying to cancer and surviving the treatment.
I don't know what the fuck you follow, motherfucker. Okay, I don't know what you follow.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
For the record, I'm one of the only fucking orbiters, quote unquote, who brings content every time I come with a distinct topic to talk about. So for you to get to fucking mauled, okay? Oh, Destiny, I know what's going on. No, I fucking own you. Okay. Anyway, what were we gonna talk about? Yeah, I don't know. Just rest in peace. Everyone donate to Medicare. Give him money for
I thought
medical
wasn't
bills.
his recent stream? Isn't he doing good now? Because I thought he did his second to last stream was he was basically like saying goodbye to the internet because he thought he was kind of gonna die. But then I thought his recent stream was that his treatment had gone well and they were doing okay. Because
there's been a bunch. I think the most recent one, he was saying that he was trying to raise money to pay for medical bills because things are getting bad again. So
I thought he'd figured his shit out. Well. Damn,
it comes and goes. I think, you know, in those situations with that kind of diminishing health, it can kind of come and go a little bit. So I don't know all the details, but yeah, man, Medicare is just a kenosopher of content. Okay, classic.
Well, that's sad.
What'd you say?
That's sad that he's dying.
It is sad to be dying. Yeah. Are you scared of dying?
Only if I've had a lot of drugs and I'm thinking about it, but otherwise I tend not to think about that much. Why should I be?
I mean, I don't think so. Unless there's something I don't know. Probably not.
Okay.
You don't think more about like mortality that much?
No, fuck, dude. I'm 34. Okay, not 72. Fuck you.
Well, I'm fucking 20, and I think about it sometimes. I'm like, fuck, like, I'm just aware of the ever-present fact that there's a very limited time on this earth to get things done, and it can kind of fucks with me sometimes. It's like,
you've got
damn, I really don't want to waste any time
to get things done. Don't worry, you got all the time in the world, quite literally.
Well, you say that, but then you get to the end, and there's a lot of people who have a lot of regrets.
They're, and then they die, so they don't have to worry about it. So,
well, okay. The point is that by the end, I'll be happy with what I've done, and I'll just die at peace rather than dying, like feeling unresolved. Mm-hmm. That's probably bad. That's probably a bad thing. When you got to the end, wouldn't you be like fucking maulding if it was like you got done like 30% of what you thought you could have?
I feel like by the time you're in that stage of your life, your brain is kind of adapted to the idea that you're going to die and you're not like stressing out about it like crazy. Feels like most old people are kind of like, okay,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But
that seems kind of fucking dark, bro. I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, well, stay healthy.
All right. Well,
don't do drugs.
Yeah, stay healthy.
Don't be Zherka,
Don't be Zherka. Yeah. What do you think the future is like for him? What the fuck is he gonna do now?
Zherka?
Is he just gonna like? Does he even make money on streaming? I don't even know. What he like? Do any of these people make money?
I don't know what a lot of these people do. I wonder about that a lot. I'm not
like
sure.
Zherka. I feel like he doesn't even stream that much. Like, or post that much content. Most of the clips I see are of him on other people's streams, unless there's like some revenue sharing thing that's going on between Aiden and everyone else and everyone he brings on, which I doubt. Yeah.
I think all of these guys lie a lot, especially the Red Pillars too. I think a lot of these guys lie about like the amount of money they make and everything. So.
Yeah, I guess just so they can live like a degenerate lifestyle, just like hanging out all day, getting high, getting drunk.
Well, also, and because like for a lot of these people, like the amount of money you have and make and everything is really important. Like you have to look like the shit and be.
It's like a dick measuring contest constantly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that MLD
Until
guy literally that MLD guy literally rented a Lamborghini to go to one of the fucking shows he was doing. It's like, bro, really? You're renting a Lamborghini?
Who is MLD?
Another dipshit red pillar that rose and fall in like 2 days because he outed himself as a fucking retard. But yeah.
Is that the guy that he was like on his YouTube channel malding about people making fun of him or something? Is this the guy? Like 200K subs or something?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember that guy. Is his whole shit's just over now?
I don't know. I don't think his shit was ever even there in the first place though, because he literally I think he botted his channel. Like if you look at his viewership, it doesn't make sense given his sub count and everything. I think that's another thing I figured out too. A lot of people bought like all of their social medias. It's fucking insane. You see like Sneako's 1.6 million followers on Instagram.
I could believe maybe he had that. I mean,
look at his engagement on like fucking Twitter. This guy gets like, yeah, it's not, no.
That's true, but he had a really big peak. Like he did. Like if you go to his engagement on his Instagram, like he's not getting like 1.6 million likes. He's maybe getting 100,000, maybe.
No, yeah, his engagement actually looks real, but I noticed that I think he deleted a whole bunch of pictures too. So I think he paid to bot all the individual pictures, and then he deleted the ones he don't want to spend money on because he's only got like 10 pictures on there now, and then 1.6 million followers. But
back
keep
in the
in
day
mind
when he
that
was
like
still. Oh, go ahead.
Keep in mind that like when he's going on other streams, Sneako's like in his Discord like begging people to go to those streams and post like W's and stuff. Like he did that for his last Aiden Ross stream. He's like, guys, I need you to go to stream and put W Sneako in chat because a lot of people are ragging on me there.
When he was on his red pill arc or whatever, sorry, one sec. I was on the stream. When he was on his red pill arc still, like 4 or 5 months ago, he had just gone to Rumble not that long ago, I want to say. Actually, it had been a bit, but he was currently trying to do this business strategy of farming YouTube hate for like getting fans. So he would be like, fuck all the soy boys. He made the soy boy collage, you probably remember, which was like Critical, Hassan. I was on there. He eventually took me off. I'm not really sure why, but yeah, I didn't make the cut anymore. I was like, it was like me next to Nick is not green, and he was just like, look at all these like fucking soy boy white guys, which is like true. I am a soy boy. I love soy. But I was on that collage, and he had made this proposition on stream. He was like, any of these soy boys want to debate me, they can all debate me at once. Like they can all 10v1 me and I'll win. And so I instantly like I saw that, and so I messaged him. I was like, yo, I'll debate. And then like it just never, like he just constantly ducked me and avoided me. And then like the next day I like tried to get on, and he was like, no one in my chat knows who you are. Like, why would I debate you? Which is like probably true. I bet no one in his chat does know who I am. But like he literally like clearly extended an offer. Like everyone needs to debate me. So I was like, okay, I will come on and talk to you and like call you retarded. And then he instantly just backed off. Which is once again like the performative like nature of what he does. Like he's more of like a TikTok dancer for like teenage boys than like anything else. Like he's not like a thinker in any kind of any kind. And he was just shitting on porn like 1 month ago, and now like I saw him on stream with this like Asian girl with big old titties. He was like trying to fuck her. He was like clearly he was like, oh, you do porn? Oh, that's, you know, no hate, no judgment, no hate. Like that's crazy. That's like mind-boggling that that's the arc he's on. I wonder if he like regrets getting banned on YouTube now. I wonder if he like looks back on that.
Of course, right?
I feel like that's such a huge opportunity. Like, sometimes I'll get shit from people in my community who are like, Tom, you're too safe. Like, you won't do this or talk about this topic. And it's like, I don't think people who aren't in the position of like having a decent sized YouTube channel can comprehend the massive opportunity that comes with having like a decent sized platform. Like the amount of money that Google AdSense can provide to you, the amount of audience that YouTube as a whole like has the potential to let you access is unprecedented, and there will never be a platform where you'll ever get that same level of attention.
Yeah,
ever.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty frustrating.
Very true.
Yo, who just joined? Lauren,
what's up? How's it going, buddy?
I'm here for watching the destruction of Sneako and just taking it all in.
Well, I feel like he's kind of like leveled out for now, right? I don't think he's like
he's reached like a plateau on the bottom, I'd say.
Yeah, but he's like, I think he's considering he's been like deplatformed from everything, I think he's in a pretty healthy spot, no?
Yeah, I mean, relatively speaking.
Like he still seems to be, and he still seems to be connected to a whole bunch of different people. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, true. All right. Well, on that note, I'm gonna get out of here. But good call, buddy. Wallahi, Despacito, Dame Tu Cosita, Gangnam Style, Obama.